Did you know the Emperor's Royal Guard could take on a Jedi in a fight? Yeah, those red-robed badasses in Star Wars aren't just fancy decorations, they're lethal. Today we're diving deep into the Imperial Guard's secrets, from their shadowy origins to their epic last stand. Stick around because you won't believe what Palpatine hid under those crimson robes. Welcome back to the Lore Knight channel. I'm the Lore Knight, your host, artist, and galactic storyteller. If you're obsessed with a galaxy far, far away like I am, you've probably wondered about those mysterious crimson figures standing silently behind Emperor Palpatine. They're the Imperial Guard, also known as the Emperor's Royal Guard, and they're way more than just cosplay material. These guys are the ultimate symbol of power, fear, and loyalty in the Star Wars universe. But here's the kicker, their story spans prequels, the original trilogy, the sequels, and even the Wild Legends universe. From Senate Guards to Praetorian Guards, there's a ton of lore to unpack, so grab your blue milk, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and let's dive into the crimson legacy of the Imperial Guard. First up, how did a bunch of blue-robed Senate Guards become the Emperor's deadliest protectors? Let's go back to the prequels. Hit that like button if you've ever wanted to wield a force pike like an Imperial Guard. Let's set the stage in the prequel era. Before the Empire even existed, the Galactic Republic is in full swing, and the guys keeping the Senate safe are the Senate Guard. You know, those blue-robed dudes with fancy rifles in the Phantom Menace? They're not just ceremonial, they're elite soldiers trained to protect senators and the Supreme Chancellor, aka Palpatine, before he goes full Sith Lord. But here's where it gets juicy. Palpatine, being the sneaky Darth Sidious he is, doesn't trust these guys completely. In the Clone Wars series, we meet the Senate Commandos, a more badass version of the Senate Guard. They handle high-risk missions like protecting Padme or chasing down bad guys. But one of them, Captain Argus, straight up betrays the Republic in an episode called Cloak of Darkness. Talk about a red flag for Palpatine. By Revenge of the Sith, Palpatine's had enough. He starts phasing out the Senate Guard and introduces the Red Guard, the Proto-Imperial Guard. You can spot them briefly when he declares himself Emperor. These crimson-robed enforcers are handpicked for loyalty, trained to be silent, and armed with force pikes, those nasty staffs that can zap or stab you into next week. In the Legends universe, the Red Guard's origins are even darker. Palpatine secretly trains them during the Clone Wars, cherry-picking the most loyal soldiers and brainwashing them to serve his Sith alter ego. Some Dark Horse comics even hint that he used clones or dark side rituals to make them unstoppable. Fun fact, the Senate Guard's blue robes were inspired by real-world ceremonial guards, but their rifles could still drop you faster than a Wookiee at a barbershop. So the Red Guard sets the stage, but how do they become the iconic Royal Guard we see in Return of the Jedi? Let's jump to the Empire's Golden Age. Fast forward to the original trilogy, and the Imperial Guard is in full crimson glory as the Empire's Royal Guard. You see them in Return of the Jedi standing like statues in Palpatine's throne room on the second Death Star. Those red robes, those faceless helmets, they're not just there to look cool. They're the galaxy's most elite, non-force sensitive warriors, trained to protect the Emperor at all costs. Their training? Brutal. These guys are drawn from the best stormtroopers or special forces, put through hellish drills, and conditioned to be 100% loyal. Their force pikes are their signature weapon. Part spear, part stun baton, all deadly. And they don't sleep on their skills either. They're trained in martial arts, blasters, and even vibroblades. In the Darth Vader comics, they're so intimidating that even Vader respects them. Well, as much as Vader respects anyone. But here's a Wild Legends detail. The Royal Guard trained on a planet called Yin Chor, where they'd fight to the death in duels to prove their worth. Only the strongest survived, and they were stripped of their names, becoming living weapons for Palpatine. Some called Sovereign Protectors even got a taste of the dark side, making them mini Sith in all but name. Check out Crimson Empire comics for more on that. It's a must-read. Now let's talk about the sequels. In The Last Jedi, we meet the elite Praetorian Guard, Snoke's answer to the Imperial Guard. These guys trade flowing robes for sleek samurai-inspired red armor and wield crazy weapons like vibroblades and electro chain whips. That throne room fight with Kylo and Rey, 8 Praetorians take on 2 Force users and nearly win. They're trained to counter Jedi, which makes them even scarier than the Royal Guard in some ways. Fun fact, the Praetorian Guard's weapons were inspired by real-world martial arts, like Filipino stick fighting and Japanese kendo. No wonder they move like ninjas. But what makes the Imperial Guard so iconic? Let's break down their legacy and why they're more than just Palpatine's bodyguards. Comment below which is cooler, the Royal Guard Force Pikes or the Praetorian Guard's Vibro Whips. So why do the Imperial Guard and their successors matter so much? It's all about symbolism. Those crimson robes aren't just fashion, they scream power, fear, and loyalty. The faceless helmets make them an extension of Palpatine's will. Even high-ranking Imperials were terrified of them, as we see in novels like Lords of the Sith. In Legends, the Guard's story doesn't end with Palpatine's death. The Crimson Empire comics follow Kirkanos, a royal guard who survives the Empire's fall and hunts down traitors. He's like John Wick with a force pike. Then there's Carnor Jax, a guard who betrays the Empire and tries to take over. These stories show how fanatical the Guard's loyalty was. Some couldn't let go of Palpatine's dream. The Legends universe also gives us wild variants like the Shadow Guards from The Force Unleashed who wield lightsaber pikes and use the dark side, or the Imperial Sentinels in Dark Empire, those creepy mutated giants guarding Palpatine's clones. The Legends lore goes really hard. In canon, the Praetorian Guard's epic fight in The Last Jedi proves they're not just there for show. They're designed to counter Force users, which raises one big question. Could they have taken on Vader or Luke in their prime? My money's on Vader, but it'd be a heck of a fight. Fun fact, the Royal Guard's training included Echani martial arts, a Star Wars fighting style so deadly it's basically karate on steroids. So what's the final verdict on the Imperial Guard's place in Star Wars history? Let's wrap this up. The Imperial Guard and their Crimson Legacy are one of Star Wars' coldest secrets. From the Senate Guard's humble beginnings to the Praetorian Guard's last stand, these red-robed warriors embody the dark side's grip on the galaxy. They're not just bodyguards, they're symbols of fear, loyalty, and raw power. Whether you're a canon purist or a Legends lover, the Imperial Guard's story is a testament to how deep Star Wars lore can go. So what's your take? Are they the ultimate elite force, or just Palpatine's fancy fan club? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you loved this deep dive, give me a like and subscribe for more Star Wars goodness. And hit that bell so you don't miss the next video. If you haven't yet, don't forget to catch up on my daily short transmissions, aka YouTube shorts that I put out almost every day. And I will see you next time.